Live. We live. How's it going?
Live. Yeah, we live. Feeling good, feeling good. No
Good, good,
complaints
good.
here.
I'm glad. Team's got to go good.
Exactly,
Yeah,
bro.
I can hear Gary. I can hear Gary. Okay. I can hear everybody. I can hear everybody perfectly. That's actually pretty great. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the CTU show. Well, podcast. Actually, the show. I said it wrong. But this is our first episode together. We got
Hey, Bobby.
on my left, we got a great young man. You see the watch, you see the rollie on his wrist, you see
Yo,
him.
like cheese, like cheese, like cheese.
You
You see
boys,
him.
we
You see
boys.
him. Unique story. Okay,
I,
my boy's
I.
over here. My boy's over here.
Oh,
He's really confident. And down in the middle, we have the one, the only. You see him play Rocket League. You see him play with us in all these games. Crownless
little
Kings.
nice to meet y'all. Nice to meet y'all. You
And
know,
you got me.
Me. Who's
Me.
me? Who's me? Hmm?
I am.
let them know. Let them know.
I'm. I'm pretty great in a lot of things. A
Uh,
man
I hear you.
of great things. This is.
Talk to 'em.
I am Trey Guns.
Trey
So
Guns. Like cheese, like cheese.
you know
I see you. That's light.
what
That's
is,
light, though.
what is going on, guys? How were your guys' day today?
Work is beautiful. A lot of stuff has been popping off, though. A lot of stuff has been popping off on the little social climate we got going on, the internet.
Mhm.
Everything going on. Can't wait to get into it. Can't wait to dig into it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I hear that.
I hear
Yeah,
that.
we're no complaints. Just another light day. I thought the weather would be a lot more beautiful out, but it's been pretty
Yeah,
cool. Pretty cool.
yeah. The weather's really good. Everything's out here. I wonder how the weather is where you guys are from. The weather is really interesting out here. It really is. It's really interesting.
What do you mean?
Um,
I don't know. Like, not that far away from you?
I
Confused?
mean,
Weather?
I mean,
We're
different,
inside the same climate.
temperatures.
Okay.
Different temperatures sometimes. You never know.
Okay.
You never
Okay.
know.
Okay.
You never know.
You never know. I hear that. But like you kind of do know though. You kind of know.
Kind of. I feel you.
Kind of.
I feel you. Um, let's go ahead
Yeah.
and get into our first topic. What's our first topic of the day? Unique.
All right. You know what it is. Let me get this stuff out. So, as everyone knows, we definitely have one of the most, in my personal experience, satisfying case and court session that I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Mm.
I thought personally that one, it was funny. There was a lot of people that were watching it. A lot of people that took, some clips and made something of it. But Johnny Depp's court case, response. I want to say to give some context to people about the case. It started over some allegations made by Amber Heard, stating that as far as I know, Johnny Depp abused her, toxically in a toxic manner, emotionally, but more or less playing the physical card, physical
Okay.
abuse, which
Okay.
holds a heavy, weight in the social climate. So, really, I really want to say that's damaging, especially from a man of Johnny Depp's like height.
Yeah.
That's damaging.
That's true.
So going on for some time, a lot of people were bashing him. A lot of people were attacking him. Not physically, but on media, and they were like, "Yo, how could you do this?" You have the Me Too movement that's also, saying out there like, "Yo, this man is an abuser." No facts, no information out.
No,
An
nothing at
abuser,
all.
no information out.
Yeah.
So there's no evidence to conclude that he is an abuser, physically. Let's be clear, physical abuser. But it did come out that video recordings of Amber Heard confessing that she struck him was vocally abusing, emotionally abusing. She was toxic. So there was a lot of stuff that was going on here, like a lot of stuff. So you can tell that personally, people that thought that it was Johnny Depp, the rug got pulled right under them and they felt some type of way. Now it's crickets. Well, it used to be crickets. I take it back. Now a lot of people are coming out the woodwork saying, some memes are saying, yo, when are we gonna start with this toxic
feminism?
No, not feminism. Toxic femininity. Sorry.
Okay.
The opposite of toxic masculinity. So I might, my speech is all that. Yeah, what y'all, from just the run through, what's y'all opinion on it? Because I got a lot, I got something here.
Okay. So for me, I remember I was reading into this and everything. It was a crazy case with Amber doing a lot. She ended up getting Johnny Depp fired from literally. Well, he can't work with Disney anymore at all. She got him clipped. He ended up doing a lot of stuff like that. Also Amber, if I'm not mistaken, she actually was cheating on him too. Also, if I'm not mistaken. Johnny Depp, he's not wrong in any of the things. She also lied about being abused. Mm-hmm. She had makeup. She ended up putting makeup and stuff like that, like fake bruises on her face. Ended up doing stuff like that. It's really, really crazy. She's that's a crazy situation. It's a real bad situation where you have somebody that like his job and everything that he worked for is in jeopardy from this. Man, it's a little crazy. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's true. Yeah, for me, pretty much, I wasn't looking too into the details of the case. Like I was watching it bit by bit, and from what I'm seeing, it's looking like it's in his favor currently. And that's something that's not really expected, but kind of surprising if I may say so. Some of the evidence that came out about her, some of her video recordings and audio recordings that came out when she was saying that nobody's going to believe you because you're a man. I thought that was wild. The first time I heard that, and bouncing off of what Unique was saying with the toxic femininity, it's like that is something that should be brought up more. And I feel like this case is definitely going to be the first in a long list of steps that's going to bring it out. That's going to bring that more to the table and let that actually be a topic of discussion. Because, like for years we've been hearing about it, toxic manhood, toxic masculinity, y'all got to stop playing, y'all abusing women. And now here we have this situation clear as day, abusing women, the reverse. And now here we have this situation clear as day from what I've been seeing. And now here we have this situation clear as day, like I was just seeing it on Facebook posts, on Instagram posts. People will be like, yeah, let's talk about toxic femininity because of this case. And everybody's just quick to shut it down. They're like, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this case. It's like, nah, like we got to bring this up now. Like this is the perfect opportunity to show that we're equal. Between men and women, we're trying to have a civil discussion. We're not trying to like look down upon each other. And for it to get shut down, it's kind of crazy, But I'm hoping that it'll actually lead somewhere. I know that the first steps to, pushing new boundaries aren't going to be the easiest, but I'm hoping we can come to some sort of like consensus about that. So it's going to be interesting in these next few months. But as for the case itself, like from what I've been trying to look at both sides. I'm not trying to defend anyone. I'm trying to stay in a neutral party because it's like I don't know the situation fully until I pick a side. So what I've been hearing, Amber Heard was very abusive towards him. She got her hair cut. He can't work with Disney no more. she's been trying to use him being drunk, like against him, to start on false allegations and whatnot. And like I feel like all the evidence and whatnot are starting to pile up against her, so she can't really like find a counter argument, and that's something I've been realizing these past couple days. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I got to see how this really plays out. I definitely got to look more into it.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy case. It's definitely something that should be in the limelight a lot more. Like people should pay attention to it more than anything. I think that's a really, really interesting case. It really is.
That's true.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna step in here real quick. I'm gonna be honest. It's about damn time. Excuse my language. It's about dang time. Look, listen. I'm gonna be honest. For a long time, we've lived in an age where nuance and just an understanding of each other has been like without, a presence in online media. You have Jordan Peterson. Shout out to him because he's an amazing, he's still man. So I'm not going to praise him like he's something amazing. But he does preach some type of sense that we can take pieces of.
Go ahead.
Also, not to mention, Abba and Preach, they're pretty good too. Those are my personal favorites. But, besides them, you have people like Fresh and Fit, some other YouTubers that, use, a type of a polarizing topic, and they pick the most extreme, but they don't come from a place of authenticity and some nuance. Just, look at the situation, try and dissect exactly what's going on, and then be calm, and then, pass out proper judgment. At least judgment you can stand on, and if it's wrong, you can be like, you know what, I tried my best. Instead of saying, I'm just gonna throw out the first thing that I think, and then that's just, it. I think that this is a way to take this issue and say, well, it's not always men. It can be females too. This is a very popular case now where we can say, we could point at it and say, well, this is something that we should really pay attention of now, because we can see the other side of this. We got to take our time, save our judgments, and definitely use, our brain and take some time to actually break it down instead of throwing rocks at somebody as soon as you hear something, But I think this is, besides that, I think it's a larger issue. I think it's a larger issue when it comes to social media and just how we respond to social media in general. We're behind the camera. We don't need to see each other. We don't need to come face to face. And so there's type of an incentive, or maybe not an incentive. Maybe it's a type of implicit, unconscious thought that we have where we're out of danger. We're out of harm. So we don't have to worry about our words. We can just throw our words at you and we can just leave it alone. And you have to deal with that type of emotion that you have from reading, that language, them words. And I think hopefully with this, I'm not a pessimistic person, but I'm not optimistic. I hope that this can change this, the atmosphere of online media. As we can see, hopefully it rings bells in a lot of communities.
It's so funny. Wait, hold on. What just happened was, it just ended our session in Zoom for me because it's saying that we had to upgrade our time limit, I guess. And that just happened. So this is a funny episode one. This is a funny episode.
We started short. Short and sweet for right now. Short and sweet. We'll come back in a second.
So we're right back. Oh my God.
These messages.
No, I'm still here. Which is fucking stupid. I don't understand.
You
Word.
about to put some money on that Zoom? Keep it low.
Yeah. This thing is retarded.
Yo, listen, Zoom knows what it's doing. You know,
It's
we having fun right now, man. We having fun. You know, we gotta. You know, we starting out right now. Oh, I'm starting
Yep.
out. I'm having fun. You know, I want to get my voice out there, and you know, that's it. That's all it is.
Let me see.
That's we trying to get our voice out there. You know.
I'm doing it right now. Hold on.
So going on, continuing with the issue while we have, trade guns, handle our technical difficulties. So Gary, what do you think about that social issue? Like that issue specifically? Like how, in your opinion, how can we change using this as a possible catalyst? I like this.
It would definitely take a lot more than just a few years of conversation. But I would definitely say the first step towards doing that would be to admit that it actually is more of an issue than we would like to show. You know, it's like domestic abuse happens for both genders. And unfortunately, when it comes to a woman hitting a male, it isn't so much discussed as much because there's a whole type of stigma surrounding that, you're the guy, you got to be tough, you can't show any emotion, so there's a lot of things we would have to break down and then rebuild, with that in mind at its crux. For example, it's like you would have to take out the whole stereotype that because we're guys and we're not able to talk about the things going on in our lives or talk about the more negative aspects of ourselves, and that, like, I feel like that is only pushing us apart as men, and like not even just from a community level, but like in every level, like just from a male to another male, people feel like there's like a wall between you and me. For example, it's like there's some things we can't say to each other, or like I'm not able to get emotional because we have this like type of male stereotype that we have to be tough 24/7. So that has to go. Like we have to admit that like just as much as females are, we're just as much capable of emotion. Like it's something that just needs to be accepted and understood. Like we can't just push it away. We can't just bury it and act like it doesn't exist because that's only leading to what's happening. Like had he felt more accepted and more able to come to somebody about his situation, it probably wouldn't have been pushed to this extent. In terms of Johnny Depp's case, or like even on a personal level, like I've known some people that had to go through it and they felt like they couldn't tell anybody because they were a guy. And it's like we just have to start from scratch again and definitely just all come together again for more civil discussions. Like, this is something that exists. Like as guys, we gotta admit that it's okay to talk about like something that's going on. It's okay to open up, because if we don't, these things are going to continue to go unnoticed. Everybody's just going to keep going to the bar on Friday night acting like nothing's happened. It's like, nothing wrong with going to the bar on Fridays, but it's like you can go there, talk your feelings with it. You don't got to bottle it up and act like it's something that isn't there until subconsciously it ends up coming out in a way that you didn't expect. Beyond that too, I don't know what it would take. Like it would have to take us really understanding the not so much understanding, but like it would really have to take us like from me to you to the next guy to the guy across the street to like out of state, et cetera, et cetera. Like for like most guys, a majority of males to just sit and have this type of discussion and say, yo, you know what? I feel okay. You have to just sit down and be like, yo, my feelings are my feelings. Like this is something that I can't bury. Like if we're gonna progress as individuals as well as like a whole gender,
Mhm.
we have to be willing to accept that like the positives and the negatives. You know, it's like be able to my fault, be able to not so much feel like you're weak for needing help.
Mm,
You know,
Mhm.
okay.
and
I'm sorry to cut you off.
that's all right.
Because
Sorry, I was dragging.
you know,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
want to be able to diversify real quick. Um, okay. So the bad and the good, the weakness that we have to acknowledge that maybe not weakness, we can be vulnerable, but we cannot show weakness. Let me rephrase that. Vulnerableness can be. It takes courage to be vulnerable. You know,
Yeah, that it does.
but
Definitely does.
weakness,
Definitely does.
but weakness is different. Weakness can be dangerous. I have seen weakness when it comes to people that either can't say no, they can't they give in to something super easily. Not having a backbone. That's a form of weakness because you cannot stand strong in the face of social issues, people, aggression of any kind.
Mhm.
Um, so then specifically, specifically, highlight at least one thing that we have to kind of share when it comes to vulnerability as men. Like, what will one thing lead us? Like one step. How's one step can lead us in that
To what being more vulnerable.
being a little bit more vulnerable, Gary.
One step. That would just be to admit that it's something that needs to be accepted.
Mm,
You know, like from a basic level to a general level to a community level. It's like instead of looking at the next guy and feeling envy or jealousy or some type of rage towards him, like just understand your own faults, shortcomings, and try to not even just that, scratch that. You have to be able to go to the next man and be like, yo, I'm not feeling okay. That's it. That's it. And then from there, start the discussion, open yourself up, and allow yourself to be able to be vulnerable. It's I would say that's another thing.
okay.
If I understand that a lot of men hold on to a lot of pride and ego, so it's like don't even look at it like you're being vulnerable, like you're in a position to be hurt
Mhm.
because you're not. You're just as capable as you was before you let it out, as you're gonna be after you let it out. Like, as you just said, it takes a lot of courage to open up about this thing. And a lot of people don't like to perceive to be weak. But you got to understand that there's nothing weak about it. Like it's all an effort to help yourself grow, and it's all an effort to help the next person grow. You know, so where it would just be like accepting it, just go into your person and be like, yo, I got a problem. Or like, yo, I gotta go open up to somebody, and then allow that to just generally flow throughout the world. And then we would probably get somewhere. That would definitely be a good logical stuff.
It's also pretty hard to like talk to people sometimes too, because
Oh
because
yeah,
you know
definitely.
because you may have those friends that you can be more vulnerable to than your homeboys maybe necessarily. I can't be 100% vulnerable to everybody. Like not everybody can see my vulnerability.
Of course.
Like I I will have normally you show your vulnerability more towards uh female friends, maybe a
Yeah,
dude that you're really
definitely.
really close to, maybe a boy who you're really really close to, that knew you like your whole life, maybe something along that line. You're never really vulnerable to just random people. Like I've never had a situation of me going up to a random person and just being like, yo, I need to talk to somebody. Like I've never had that.
Mm,
Never really had that.
And I would say for that, that's exactly why it would take a whole fundamental breakdown of what we've been taught so far.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's beyond our control, but it's definitely something that would take multi generations, in my opinion.
Mhm.
It's like we have to have the common belief be that it's okay to like both receive and both be able to receive help. I mean, both receive and be able to like accept that the person is trying to reach out to you for help. You know, a lot of guys in general feel like they can't open up to the next guy because they'll use it against them. You know,
Right.
or they'll turn on their back and do something with it. And it's like, unfortunately, that does happen, and that's because of the type of morals and values and whatnot we've been taught to grow up. It was always survival of the fittest. Look out for yourself.
Kind of like a person that is, burn once, and so they're scared to open up again,
Exactly.
Okay.
It's hard. It's definitely pretty hard being that. It's really, really hard because I you have people in your family that doesn't really like showing vulnerability. You have people, maybe your uncle, maybe a lot of uncles that really, really just show macho-ness that they never really show you that sensitive side of them.
Yeah, so, that is true.
You always, even if people who have mothers, usually if you're a male, you're more vulnerable to your mom. You're more vulnerable to be like, hey mom, this is what's going on. Da da da. What should I do?
That's true.
Like most of the time, you're not gonna really talk to your. Not saying most of the time you're not gonna talk to your father, but some people they have that father relationship. That hey, I'm gonna be sensitive and I'm gonna talk to my dad about being what's going on.
Okay. So before we move on to the next topic, I actually want to kind of just ask that quick question. So when you say like you're vulnerable to your mom, or just say, in the sense when you have that option, because, as men, as young boys, that we used to be, there is a certain, at least as far as I've seen, there's a baseline of, depending on how the parent is, of course, but there's a baseline of, I would like to go to a motherly figure, which there are some biological facts to that. There is, maybe not facts, but more evidence to support that we are more inclined to be next to our mothers, a matron, so on and so forth. Women are, it is pretty much supported to some degree that women are pretty impressive across the animal kingdom. So it's impressive. And when it comes to us, it's even more so impressive because we have higher levels of doing things and taking care of children that women have to do, taking care of children, so on and so forth. Now, there a lot more people are pushing, a lot more women are pushing to work. But I feel like not just also that, because that's also one aspect of what makes, women great. It's not like, we bash women just to bash women, but it is, the earlier topic with Johnny Depp is something interesting. But it's I find it very interesting that we're like that. As young kids, we're more inclined to go to our mothers than our fathers for comfort. I find that just very interesting. But do you, in y'all opinion, do you guys find that more of like a common sense? Like, oh yeah, of course we're supposed to, or is it something?
I don't think it's common sense. I think it's just how the relationship kind of thing is. Like, all right, like it could be like if you always see your dad always be kind of tough, never really like sensitive, you're never gonna really always go to him and be like, hey, let me talk to him about the sensitivity stuff. Like I'll rather go to my mom to talk about the sensitivity stuff than go to my dad about it.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
With that one, I'm looking at it a little more at a neurological level, pretty much. It's like at our core, at our like base DNA, as well as with other animals. Like the mother figure is the nurturer, the care provider, the one to take care of them at the birth. Like all across the animal kingdom. It's like let's take other mammals for example. What's another mammal? Not even just mammals.
Like you could say like dogs, yeah. You just like the female dogs.
That's a mammal.
I mean, I said
True. No. You can look at it like that with dogs.
Yeah. You definitely can look at it with dogs.
Child, they're there to hold the child more. They breastfeed the child, obviously. Like with us, we're the ones that's breastfed. We're the ones that's more inclined to be held like that. and it's just in our DNA, like as people. So that would definitely be something. Obviously, we couldn't just uproot because it's like survival instinct. That's the best word to put it. Survival instinct. You know, us as a child, we have no way of surviving without. We have no way of surviving without this caretaker. You
Yeah.
know, and
Um.
usually in that instance, it's our mother. So throughout the earlier years, it starts out as her being the one to breastfeed us, clothe us, feed us, warm us up, and keep warm. And then as we grow older, it becomes okay. You're the one that I'm going to go to for my emotional problems because I have the same mentality, not mentality, but just I have an imprint of you're the one that I go to for this problem since
Mm,
birth. You know, and obviously you can be like that with your father too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like it happened before you even made some conscious thought, pretty much. So it's going to be something tough to just say you're done with.
Yeah.
So I
right.
think that's the reason. But go
Okay.
ahead, my fault.
All right. All right. That was a good. I feel like that was a perfect way to start this. It's a good issue, especially because I think Johnny Depp's situation has a deeper topic than what the court makes it seem like on a baseline. It's women, so on and so forth. Finally, so what the red pill community makes it seem like. Johnny Depp should have been this. Johnny Depp should have been this. Women, so on and so forth. This. I think the Johnny Depp shows us that on both sides it can the pendulum can swing both sides and hit both people in the face. It doesn't matter who you are. You
Yeah.
really need to take the time and sit down, analyze the situation, get your information, and get varied sources of information. Don't take it from one place. Don't take it from the right. Don't take it from the left. Don't take it from Hollywood or the Bitcoin, whatever you want to call the opposite of Hollywood, or even YouTube, even us, to some degree. We're not super fact checkers. We do have our opinions, and we do put in some of the research. Um, but even we are fallible. We're of course we're fallible. We can make incorrect uh, assumptions. We're human. Um, but moving on. Uh, the next topic that we got, and this is something that I kind of really wanted to get on. Um, on a social category.
Mm-hmm.
So, teacher in Sacramento says the N word. Now, that doesn't seem like much of a problem. I know, right? It's kind of messed up. But, um, so in series, just the base level, she tried to use the F the patriarchy that a young individual, a child, um, wrote on a homework or a test or an exam. Wrote on
Mm-hmm.
a piece of paper, gave it to the professor. Not professor, the teacher. The teacher thought that it would be a good topic or a good way to kind of go into the
Like
I want to
segue
say
into
the
the topic.
epiology or the
Okay.
origin of a word for the people that don't know the origin of the word um for patriarchy, and to show that to some degree um that the word has a history. The word has not only history, it can have a varied history, but to kind of segue into the fact that the patriarchy is a negative thing, which I don't necessarily agree or disagree with. That's a hard conversation to have with children. Um, but you gotta start somewhere, and I applaud the teacher to at least try to create something, or try and get the kids to understand higher concepts and higher stuff, at least to have them grow a part of social environments, and just be aware of social stuff, even though they are kids. But she thought that it was a teachable moment, and she started throwing out words, to just show that certain words have a history and not all of it is good, so on and so forth. she throws out, I can't say here, but she throws out, oh, the patriarchy. You have, an S word, for Mexican people, so on and so forth. I'm not gonna say it. And then you have like the N word, with the A and then the ER. So, mind you, this is a Spanish woman. But even then, that's even a hot, freaking stove. I don't even think that you should be touching that. But I brought it up because I really wanted to ask you guys this hard question. And I think you guys are smart enough to answer this, because a lot of people that have given like airy answers, not like 100%. Do you think that the race of the teacher gives them some type of key or card, and I only say this in this way, key or card to use the word, or is it more or less where you come from, the community that you come from, instead of the race? Is it the people that you grew up? Because, one place that I could pull up is New York. New York is a great community, of people, a little rowdy, but even some individuals in that community that aren't African American or Black or Jamaican, even Jamaican people don't really use it that much, but not that I've known. Do you think it's a community issue, or do you think it's a race issue? And this, this might seem like a corny answer. I understand it could be a corny answer.
This is a long ass question.
It is a long ass question. I understand. We got time. We got some time.
Okay.
Into it, right?
Do I want to say that does she get the pass, or does she doesn't? I think it's the wrong place, wrong time to use it at that moment. I think it was really wrong place. I understand, yeah, it's the classroom, you're trying to teach kids something, and in that moment, but it's like, why use it then? And she ended up getting fired, right? She ended up getting her. She lost just a job.
If I can remember correctly, she did. Either got placed on leave, but I'm more inclined to say that she got fired. I was in a rush
because because she's Spanish. I'm not gonna say yeah, and I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna say strongly a little bit more no. I think I'm gonna say no.
So before we get into that, because I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna come back to you, my personal opinion. Gary, what do you think?
It was at the core of it unprofessional, because you're a teacher, and regardless of their age, that was definitely a word that you shouldn't have said in the classroom. I can understand you saying in your neighborhood, I can understand you saying it to a colleague off the clock or somewhere, not in front of the children. But no, it was just wrong. She probably spoke up and said it, but it's rather unfortunate, being that you're, a teacher. For this stuff, you kind of gotta have not so much that moral high ground, but definitely the know-how to realize when and when not to say something like that. So I definitely think she was wrong. That's all. I'm not gonna crucify her over it. It's just, it was something that was unfortunately said wrong place, wrong time, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely wrong place, wrong time to use it. It was definitely that. Like I understand, yeah, you're giving the kids a good teaching, like you're trying to teach them, hey, listen, don't really use these words. These are what the meanings are. I understand that part. But I think you don't, like in that light, you don't use it. You don't use it at all. Like, you shouldn't really just throw it out there. Yeah, this and this and this, and then you sacrifice your job. Outside of work, you probably do use the word, to back off with what Gary just said, the same thing. He backs off exactly the same way, where it's like you shouldn't really use it in that light. Like, I understand, yeah, the teachable moment, it was just bad. Bad place.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, you said something. I want to acknowledge that. Okay. I do agree with the idea. Well, not with the idea, but with the statement that you said, Gary, where where she's a teacher, so to some degree, in that classroom experience, in that classroom area, it is, if I remember correctly, it is a little bit of, in my opinion, it is a little bit of a different environment, and you should be careful of how you do this and how you say
Right.
things. So,
Exactly.
right, okay. Trey, when you said that she was Spanish and you said a little bit of a no, do you think that depending on, let's say,
Depending on the race of
explain
the person.
no, depending on the I guess the type of Spanish, because Spanish to some degree, some people say from Spain, some people say it's from Latin islands,
Mm.
Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, even further going down south, you have Ecuador, Venezuela, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it's more acceptable for, let's say, Hispanics, not Hispanics, Puerto Ricans or
You
Dominicans,
say it.
which have a lot of, like, that I know have a lot of African American ancestors, that do have African American ancestors because of the mixed ancestry between African Americans, Spanish conquistadors, and the Native Americans or Taino Indian Native Americans that live there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that gives them a little bit more of a leeway to say it, or is it just a no? Like, it's more of a no across the board. Like, it doesn't matter where you are on the map of the world
For me,
or you come from.
for me itself, I really don't care who uses the word really because it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't at all,
Mm-hmm.
really. But it's just like, yeah, you can use it. You can, because everybody in the world's using it. We seen everybody in the world's using it, and nobody's getting, like, we had a numbers of people use the word, and nothing happened to them at all.
Mm.
Numbers of people throughout the world, celebrities and everybody that's using the word, nothing happens. I want to say, truthfully, yeah, you can use it. It doesn't really hurt me at all. I mean, it matters how you're using the word too. Also, if you're around, which people do say it in private, but if you're like in an altercation or something like that, that's like the bad. Like, don't use the word at that point. Like, consequences.
So you're saying you can use it to some degree in, like, the safety of your own home, but
Yeah.
don't use it out there in, like, public. Don't be like,
Yeah.
you can just say whatever you want.
No,
Okay.
because everybody's saying the word in private. Everyone's saying the word. There's no one in this world that's not saying, all these racist things. Nobody, people in their own home are saying these things to people.
Okay.
About people.
I'm gonna be honest. I looking at the subject and looking at the place and the atmosphere, I can understand what she was doing. I said it before, but I think that personally, in a classroom setting, not only do you have to choose your words very wisely, you have to choose examples very wisely.
Mm.
You have to not only that, but you also have to lead with some type of story to at least break it down and simplify for children, because to some degree in psychology, children at a certain age cannot, I believe, before 12 years old, 12-year-olds and after 12 going up,
Mm-hmm.
you can deal with abstract thoughts. So you now can think of higher higher functioning thoughts and abstract ideas. So obviously when you're 12 or going into high school, you can give these children to some degree some education that is a little bit more on the factual side rather than this is, let's say, the Poseidon and Zeus and this is the Odin and basically making a difference using fables, or stories, haha, unique stories. So I'm waiting for a boo from you, Trey. I'm waiting for a boo, but you know, I think it is. I think it is something that should have you should have allowed for the next teacher to handle that situation, even if you think that you could have done better. With children like that, you have to make it into a story. You have to make it into a fable, something that captures them, entertains them, but also gives them something that can give you informational things that actually pertain to the lesson in an effective manner. I'm not a teacher. Hopefully one day, I'm working on it. I'm on my path to become an educator myself. And I don't even know everything about it, but
you could have also used it like, all right, let's just say the classroom she's teaching is a history class. Mm-hmm. Okay, we can kind of use it there. You can kind of use it there. You can. It's history. Okay. Especially you can. But if we just having kids is passing notes and you must have picked up the note and just been like, yo, you know what? I'm just going to teach these kids about these words and the meaning of these words. Wrong place, wrong time, because a kid can get offended, goes to the principal, and then be like, yo, this teacher said all these words. And that's probably what happened. They probably went home.
Okay. So when I said before that it was a test, that it was on a report, it was a handed in question, answer to a question that the teacher asked them to write down.
Okay.
If it was homework or an exam, I don't know. So it wasn't like they were passing it between each other. It was intentionally handed in to the teacher. The teacher just seen the question, the answer to the question, and just thought about going on that tangent. Maybe not tangent,
which is like a bad. It was like a bad. I'm not gonna say a bad rep, but it's like bad place for it. Like, right. Like it wasn't like something where I could sit there and be like, okay, here's this, and this. Like, I can understand us teaching. You could have. That was a great moment to be a teaching moment, but it was just like, I guess, parents. Kids are going to call their parents after that. Maybe a kid recorded it. Maybe there's always that. You have that. It's just a bad statement. Really, really bad.
Okay. So, all right, okay. I can see what you're saying now, and I you've said it before, but now that you've at least kind of said it again, it got me to think about it, because I focused in on Gary's point earlier. So, okay. Be it that some of those are some of the things that happen. There's a lot of stuff that we're not going to be able to get to, but I just thought we should really throw out some big, some stuff here, and some stuff that gets us really thinking. Some tough topics, and something that I believe personally was important that I wanted to share with you guys today. And have us talk about. So here at CTU, we do have 3 ways of beautiful things that we will talk about. We have our social topics that we will bring up to you guys every day, and we're going to choose those things between us. Right now, we're going to be going into our, a hot topic, not hot topic, but a very, casual topic that everyone loves is gaming. You know what I mean? We all love gaming. CTU is built on a companionship of gaming. we like to play our games. Rocket League. A little bit of that.
That's all like probably the only game we only play with each
That's the only game that we play together. But it's because we got some skill in it. It's not that we can't play, but we got some skill in it.
We all play a separate amount of games.
We all play a separate amount of games, but we can definitely at least come together and admire like a really good game. Elden Ring. To some degree, from my personal experience, me and you, Trayvon, we can agree on like Detroit Becomes Human was, an emotional game.
The Detroit Becomes Human was a really, really great game.
It was a really good game in my opinion. It was an emotional game. It caught me on a roller coaster. I felt some type of way at the end. You know what I'm talking about, Trayvon.
Yeah.
Gary, me and you talk about, a good amount of freaking games when it comes to, Skyrim, some topics on that. Definitely Elden Ring, you're definitely helping me on that, so I appreciate that. But let's go on to our next topic. Our next topic is the new new Star Wars Skywalker Saga. It's reported to be new from the ground up. The game is built on the premise of freedom and the ultimate freedom to go wherever you like in the Star Wars galaxy. That was a quote by the head designer Arthur Parson.
Who's making it? Is it EA still?
I actually do not know, but I do not. I have a feeling it's not because it's not microtransaction. So I'm happy. I'm happy about that. That's OD. But as far as I know, it's not. But I have seen some of the gameplay and a trailer for it, and I don't know, Trayvon, if you're a Star Wars fan. I'm personally a really big Star Wars fan. But from what I've seen between the trailer, it's your famous old Legos game. You have your Lego blocks, your cool characters. It's all fun and game. But they seem to took a really good twist with the combat. The combat seems to be a lot more fluid. It seems to be a little bit more focused on action rather than previous Lego games when it comes to Star Wars. Where it was focused on a more, if you hit me, I hit you, so on and so forth combat. Now it's more of a Force Unleashed combat. That's the best way I can put it. Force Unleashed combat, just Lego.
Okay.
So it seems to be something, but it just came out, I believe. If it did not come out already,
the Lego dream, yeah,
it already came out. Okay,
yeah.
All
right. I don't know why I said EA. I forgot. I didn't know that you were talking about the Lego Star Wars game. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
That's definitely a great title. I actually seen it on TikTok. People are really, really liking that game. They put all the Lego games, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
It's like all of it together.
Right. Gary just left too, but he'll be right back.
No, I'm here.
No, he's right here.
Little stretch.
I've never played it.
You never played it?
My opinion.
Gary.
My fault, Trey. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Cool. Yeah, I like all that. I think it's really cool that they put all the games in one. Maybe I'm just getting too old, but it hasn't really appealed to me. But if I definitely had, a younger relative with a PS4 or something, I would definitely get it for them. I think it's really nice. I think the action looks really slick and whatnot, but it's just not the game for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I used to really love Lego games, from Star Wars to Batman, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, all of them. But just not these days. And that's actually looking at something deeper and game related. It's like, there's all these titles and all these games that's out, and it's great, but nothing that's really captivating. Like aside from Elden Ring, like I've been playing Rocket League for like nearly 2 years now. and nothing really like been hitting like that. You
Yeah.
know, all these spectacle movie type games have been coming out, and they all look nice. You know, all the AAA grade,
Mm.
and they're either lackluster in terms of gameplay, or it just they just fall by the wayside because they are what people are like hyping it up to be.
Mm.
I'm just kind of falling out of favor with that. So I was looking at it, but it didn't really catch my interest.
I feel like I feel like right now I feel like every game so far that a lot of games are coming out are literally getting the one and done thing where people will play it for a little bit and then they will literally jump off of it immediately. Once it becomes like a title that's not so great, like you had Elden Ring come out and it was like another type Elden Ring game that came out. It was like that same week and nobody played it. Nobody played.
What was the game?
It was like I think it was like
Uh,
biblical. I think it was like biblical.
Godfall,
It was like biblical or something like that. There's like biblical fall or something like that. I think it was.
Godfall.
Godfall? No, Bible fall.
No,
Some
no.
type
Yeah,
of
it's
fall.
something
It
similar.
fell from grace. That's what it did. That's what it
Yeah.
did. It fell from grace.
Godfall is actually a great topic too. Also, that's another game that got really really bad. That got real bad fast for some reason. Nobody played it. I mean, nobody had a PS5 and nobody played the game.
Well, the
Yeah,
PS5 was stripped by everyone.
we only
For
had
everyone to
about
get a
eight to
PS5, it was
10
over.
players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't have a high number of players. It looks like a great game. It plays. It's okay.
I
You
mean,
know.
it looked when they showed out the trailer for it, I wanted to buy it immediately. I'm being
Yeah.
so dead
I
honest.
I, I
The way
I
they were
remember.
making it seem was like a God of War, new God of War, type combat game with co-op and a twist of Soul's identity where to some degree the bosses would get either they would play the same but they would get harder. This game did it kind of a little different. The enemies or the bosses would change how they would fight in Godfall. They would change how they fight. So instead of being the same generic things, as soon as you throw somebody in there, he either does different attacks or he starts playing a little bit different. He starts attacking different players accordingly. From whatever their algorithm is and however
That's
they did it. So it was actually pretty cool. I liked it.
yeah.
The idea of it.
It's on PS4 now.
It is, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's done. It died.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
it's, it's,
yeah.
a little,
It's
it's fell
there
over.
now. Well, like this is what the problem is. The problem is that the
It
problem is that
basically committed self deletion. So I mean,
basically,
basically
basically you had enough. We had a numbers of games do that to themselves.
right.
Look
A
at
lot of
you
games.
you have a fighting game problem. Really, you have a really really bad fighting game problem where you have games go in an area of being easy. A lot of fighting games right now in this day and age are very very easy now. Very very easy. We just picked up a fighting game.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into that, because that is actually a pretty good thing with the fighting game, and I definitely want you to come back to that. I'll try to remind you and ask you that question later. Gary,
I just screamed that.
I want to ask you. This is something that's been bothering me a little bit. Do you think that
Go ahead.
you're good? You good?
Hey, no. You paused, donkey. Nah, you paused, and it was different.
I appreciate it. So Gary, do you think that games nowadays are losing their storytelling ability? Do you think like back in the day, when you used to play Modern Warfare 2 when
No Russia?
My man Roach got bow shot, he fell, the general caught him crazy. And you're the race that you think maybe that might not be the best storytelling.
Yeah.
That definitely is not. But it is that like wow factor at least that you can get from like dang, like they really did me dirty. Like you can have that emotional attachment to like let's say an action game. Do you think nowadays, that games are still keeping up with that? and I want you to exclude Final Fantasy. I want you to exclude Final Fantasy because that's actually a really fucking good story.
That is.
Well, honestly, I've been very out of the loop, so I wouldn't really know. As I said, I've been playing a lot of Rocket League. Really, it's like it may just be an age thing, but just games aren't as captivating anymore. I mean, I'm playing XCOM and whatnot. See what else I'd be playing. Elden, that would be a good example. Would be a case that I would argue against. Not against, but like it definitely has an amazing story. It's fantastic, pretty much. They're definitely keeping up with the quality, if not exceeding the quality of what games in the past could do, only because of like the hardware limitations and what actually could fit in the story as well as like with the game. So they're definitely expanding upon things and making beautiful stories. Like I really like Devil May Cry. I like Persona 5. Games like this. So I would say, yeah, they're still keeping up. It hasn't been as entertaining. I mean, or like you have these big Hollywood blockbuster type games like Uncharted. You got The Last of Us. You can even go back to when the PS4 first came out with the Order 1886. Games that look really good. They're very flashy, they're very high budget storytelling games. So they're still out there.
I would even throw in Until Dawn. Until Dawn wasn't a bad storytelling game as well. That
was a really good.
Until Dawn was the horror game. The horror game.
Horror game. Oh yeah, no. The one where he throws you into the realm that's all white. You got to fight your.
No. That's Evil Within. Yeah, that's Evil Within. No. That's Evil Within.
Until Dawn was like that 80s horror movie one. They were on this ski trip, and there was a Wendigo attack out there, and you pretty much played as different characters, and it was like not a point and click adventure, but it was like Heavy Rain, or more horror focused. I think it was made by the same people actually.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
It was like quick time events. It had a lot of quick time events in it, and like each person who died, like
once your character died,
the snow game, the one that the kids went to the cabin, or young adults went to the cabin.
Yeah, they all started dying, and then your choices would affect them.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So, let me hit y'all with the next one. So, topic 2 is something that for me and Trayvon know a little bit about it. Gary, I don't know if you've been catching up on it or if you've played it in the last, well, I want to say 4 years because it came out when the PlayStation 4 came out. God of War. A couple of weeks ago, we got a confirmation from the big dog, the developer of the game, or one of the developers of the game. I don't know if it was the owner, but he shared that God of War Ragnarok, yes, the end of the world, the big boy, big God fight that's about to be happening in that game. He basically made the statement and sent it out on a tweet, and he basically said, "Yo, we're going, we're getting it done. It's gonna be out this year." So it's still on track from what we know of. And I'm gonna be honest. What's your predictions? What's your predictions about that? Because I'm excited. I'm feeling like that's gonna blow.
I think that's a game of the year title.
Easily.
It's definitely game of the year title.
That trailer, amazing.
Atreus, everybody looks lit. Everybody looks good. Combat looks even more better than what it already originally looked like in the remake of God of War. Well, you can call it would you call that a remake?
Kind of be like remake. It's not a remake. It's a continuation. The story's the same continuity there, so it's in line. It's Devil May Cry 5 to Devil May Cry 4. That's what you can think of it. It's
Okay.
like a massive time leap.
Okay.
Or a good enough time leap. Maybe not massive, but a good enough time leap.
Yeah, good enough. It's definitely gonna be something that maybe it tops maybe PlayStation's best game of all time, probably. But it's definitely gonna be. I think PlayStation has a unique lineup with that, because I believe that comes out the end. I think that's gonna come out at the end of the year. That's definitely gonna be the end of the year title. It's gonna be PlayStation 5's year 2 probably of it rolling out, year 2, year 3. I'm mistaken. That will be that game for them. The big battle is gonna be pretty lit. I think that's how the game is gonna open up. I think the game opens up with Thor and Kratos fighting each other. I think that's gonna be the opener.
Right.
I think that's gonna be something that, and then you go along the line of maybe they go the route like Uncharted did, where it starts off in the middle or it starts off at the end, and then it brings you back into like, how did I get here up to this point?
I hope they don't, because I really want to be able to take me on the loop. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Take me around the track and bring me to the end of the track, or at least to the next part of the track. I want to be, I want to. Personally, my predictions is I agree with you. It's gonna be game of the year, easily, and for the two interesting things. One, Atreus is now a teenager. Before I think he was like 12 years old or something like that, or 11. Now it's about a couple of years because of Nimblewinter, and the Edda, if I remember correctly. I don't know if it was. I might butcher the word before, but it was post Edda or pre Edda. I forgot what the actual previous word is, but the Edda that the Edda tells and describes Ragnarok, and it describes Nimblewinter also as well. That to some degree, or if it's not the Edda, other historical texts, it basically shows that the Nimblewinter lasts a couple of years. It's like the winter that lasts the longest, and during everything, as far as I know, it doesn't end. Like, this is gonna be a game where it's gonna be constantly snowing. If you're not in, like, let's say one of the other realms where maybe
Okay. So like if you go to like Asgard, it's not gonna be snowing in Asgard.
Probably not. No, I don't think it's gonna be snowing in Asgard. But in like the lesser realms where Midgard is definitely gonna be snowing constantly. Because God of War it took like an interesting twist on it. It changed a couple of things around, like
the combat, the combat in the camera is the combat in the camera was really great. Some of the old school guys who love God of War 1, 2, and 3 love the fact that the camera was kind of far away and it was more kind of arcadey rather than being of role playing, like how now it is, where it's more of a role playing. Camera's up a little bit more zoomed up. I get this. I'm actually fighting. I'm actually have to like dodge. Actually be not. Yeah, I like it more close up. I didn't really. That's why I kind of didn't play. I didn't play really the original ones. I kind of watched them. It was more of that. Never really got the chance of having a God of War in my possession when I was young. Didn't.
Okay. Jared, what do you think? Because I've seen you just analyzing the conversation here.
Yeah, just been listening in. Pretty much I missed the whole God of War cutscene, but I have had some thoughts about it. My observation, he's definitely gonna have his clash with Thor. I don't think it'll happen immediately on the start. Like, if anything, it may be a cutscene and they'll leave it on a cliffhanger. Or Kratos might actually get beat, but in the cutscene. Obviously in retaliation for Kratos killing his brother at the end of the game, the end of the first game. with the trans being a teenager. That's gonna be more interesting, because they definitely have a bunch of different routes that they can take with this character.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna say any spoilers, but like if you know who he really is, that's gonna be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
So like between the rest of the pantheon that Kratos has to clash with, I can see them making this, a very, very potential contender for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
On top of that, I can probably speculate an order of appearance, but maybe not necessarily a fight. More so in the same way they showed Zeus in the second game for the first trilogy, and they
Mm-hmm.
have Duke out in the third game. But it's gonna be interesting.
It might leave off on a cliffhanger of getting a third game.
It
Yeah,
definitely is.
It can lead in that. It can lead in a sense of maybe Atreus is in Asgard. Maybe like cliffhanger is like Atreus is in Asgard and he's stuck there like forever. Like not even some
Well,
forever, but he takes Atreus.
so if anyone is interested or at least has some type of grasp on mythology and the stories that it has, especially in Norse mythology, Atreus, and for the people that don't know who Atreus is, I really suggest you play the game. Right now, we're not going to explain it. It's been about 4 years since the PlayStation 4 has come out, and God of War has come out right after it, if not on with it. So
I think that was year two. That was definitely year two.
Year two. So you should automatically at least be able to search up a video if you don't want to play the whole game. I suggest you play the game. It's absolutely
really great game.
It's a really great game, and they did an evolution of a game really well because they didn't make it exactly how the previous games were. They did it in a way where they were like, "Yo, how can we make this game a newer version of how other games play, but it feels as close as it can to God of War's brutality, as you can say." But so for the people that don't know, Atreus is a very important person in Norse mythology. And in Norse mythology, his persona or his the character which you attach him to in the post-edit and pre-edit or whatever the appropriate names are, has a horrible, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel sad for the person, for the person, has a horrible existence among Odin and the rest of them. Horrible. Like, I'm talking about some of the things that happened to him in mythology. It's terrible. So because God of War is very nice with how they take mythology and they twist it. They make it really good. They try to keep it exactly the same way as you find it in mythology and the stories that you find in mythology. I'm gonna feel really sad for Atreus. I'm gonna feel really sad if they're gonna keep exactly close to this. Atreus is gonna have a very rough future in these games. These games, you're gonna probably feel for Atreus more than anyone else in the history of games.
Well,
so I'm gonna say keep an eye out for Atreus. Hopefully, we can root for him. But this is God of War, and we all know that. I was about to curse, but we definitely know that people ain't safe. People ain't safe from getting jacked up. So we definitely could we can expect something from Atreus.
Well. My next question to you is: you don't think that after this game, the next game's the last one?
No. You already threw out Olympus. You have Greek mythology. You have Norse mythology. Of course, you have to have Egyptian mythology. Those are like the three big mythologies besides Hinduism. But Hinduism's not even a polytheistic religion. As far as I know, there's a specific word for the amount of gods and goddesses they have. It's in the ranking of 1,000. That's more than just multiple. That's like everything. So I'm just I'm gonna leave Hinduism to the side because that's gonna be like 1,000 games into Kratos, and we're not gonna be doing. I'm pretty sure developers are not gonna waste their time with something that they can't even finish. So, Egyptian mythology is probably the next one, and Egyptian more closely, maybe Egyptian with a mix of Babylonian stories, like Gilgamesh, which would be an amazing fight if anybody knows about Gilgamesh. So I think God of War does have an answer. Has an answer after this God of War series of games.
I don't know. I mean, we're just gonna have to see if they're gonna keep on pushing out that title. That's one of those things. It's hard to say to when to stop a game too. Sometimes when a series is going pretty great, there are times where you're gonna have games that are not too great, like the other classics. So I'll rather avoid something in a sense of like, hey, listen, and out to par making this, this will be what the second one out of this universe, and then we're gonna get a third one, and then you're gonna give me 4, 5, 6. You're gonna keep on going. That's gonna be crazy. Unless you're gonna pack the third game heavy.
Like Assassin's Creed. You just reminded me. It's basically Assassin's Creed, but just with mythology rather than with history.
Okay. And that's what I think they won't do, only because I feel like the third one in this trilogy is going to be the end of Kratos. All things considered.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Either he's going to retire, or he's just going to be too old of age and just die in one hectic battle. But I don't think they'll drag it beyond this point.
Yeah,
obviously they could, but it would kind of be excessive. But then again, there's that argument that Trey said, if the numbers are there and people want more, they might provide. So you don't know. But considering the whole jump in age, how Kratos is more so looking like a father and mentor figure now, he might get the boot.
Yeah. It's hard too. It's hard to capture, that first game. That first game was really, really good. Really, really, really good. I know the second game is going to be great, but then you're gonna have to top those games. Then it has to go, and you got to keep on chasing. You're gonna keep on going higher and higher each time to get better and better. And sometimes the situation is not good like that. It's really not good playing that game.
So So besides dragging out the game itself. So I'm gonna be honest. I think they could take it a couple of different ways depending on how they want to do it. I don't think it's ever too late to continue a game because we've seen what happens when we've seen it happen when it comes down to games that take too long or games that have infinite amount of post games after it that can try and make 11 games. Call of Duty, little two
Final Fantasy
games.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy can do it. Final Fantasy can do it. Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 7. Excuse me. That's 7 games after that. Well, technically, if you're using the numbers, I'm pretty sure there was.
But look at the Final Fantasy titles. Look at the Final Fantasy titles. So ones are really, really great ones. We all, everybody talks about 7. Everybody talks about 15. 15 was really, really good.
That's true.
But then look at everything else, in the bunch of it, because then you have 13 with lightning, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's 13.
Yeah.
You have too much games to kind of be yo, these are the good ones. I don't remember nothing about 14.
It was online.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disappointing.
What I was seeing on it, it was very popular. It's got a lot of expansions going on, but it's pretty much a pay by the month subscription, which is why I didn't really look into it. But those types of games, it always felt like you had to consistently grind.
Right.
It's hard to really, really keep a game's legacy high You did bring up Call of Duty. Call of Duty is definitely in a light of being like Cold War wasn't so bad, but like then you got Vanguard where it's kind of like, come on, guys. I understand, like, you guys, we starting to run out of ideas, but like take a break then. If we're running out of ideas, then take a break. We shouldn't just keep on making a game, making a game, making a game, making a game. Like, you gotta give some time up. You have to give some time to let us breathe for a little bit, come back, and then let's figure out from now. We just had that with WWE just did the same thing where they didn't come out with a game for 2 years, and look at them now, and then now they finally fixed the game because they pooped out WWE 2K20 and it was bad, really really bad. It was very very glitchy. It didn't play. It didn't. It couldn't. You couldn't. It was unplayable. And then now you have 2K22 where it's a great game. No, none of those problems that you had in 20 is there because you took the 2 years off.
Okay. All right.
You have to give a break.
Okay, I can agree with the break part. You do have to take a short, at least a short break, when it comes to that type of stuff if you want to keep at it. But
Agreed.
okay, so for the second segment, we're gonna be talking about comics and mangas and stuff like that, which is a passionate source between us three. A little bit more. I want to be honest. When it comes to the manga aspect, that's Gary. Crownless, and Crownless he has some great selections, some great stuff up his sleeve that a lot of people. Wow, that was embarrassing. That a lot of people
What did you
don't
just
know
do?
of. My thing flipped. That a lot of people don't know of, or at least rarely heard of. So, it's great. It's gonna be good to get into this topic. I'm very good with comics.
I'm not. The only comic I ever read was like the Batman comics, and that was it. And that was a real good one for me. That was probably like the only one I got really really sat down and got into. I think your mic is no, I can't hear you. I think you muted yourself.
Yep, I definitely did mute myself. Haha. See, we starting off. Get the jitters out real quick. Well, it's an hour in, so there is no more jitters. But beside the point.
Yeah, we've been on. Yeah.
Topic one, we got comics, and the first one up is George Perez.
I don't know who
His
that
birthday's
is.
coming up. If you don't know who that is, well, I was about to get into it for you. If you don't know who that is a if I'm correct, he's a Puerto Rican artist from,
Okay.
if I remember correctly, New York. I think Brooklyn. Might be a little bit wrong on those.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him. He's from Brooklyn. Shout out to him.
Shout out to him from Brooklyn. It's funny. But he's actually pretty famous, and you've actually seen a couple of the things he's done. You've actually seen his work in the Avengers Infinity Wars
Comic?
famous scene. No, not comic. Famous
Oh.
scene. Oh, well, not scene. I apologize. You're correct. Comic. And he is the man that drew, because he's a penciler. He's the person that drew the famous Thanos snap that wiped out half the universe.
Okay.
He also did a couple of Hulk stuff, Future Imperfect, and a couple of Avengers series that I had some pretty good stuff. He's also did, if I remember correctly, he might have done. I want to be confident in saying this. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure that he's the man that did either Crisis on Two Earths or Crisis on Infinite Worlds. One of the two, and I might be messing up some of them. I gotta go back to my comic book pad. But he's put in some work. He's made these little panels really good. He's drawn them really good. Obviously, you can't mess with professionals that know what they're doing. So he's someone that you've seen Trayvon or and Gary, at least if you dabbled on some of the art or have come across it when it comes to the Infinity Wars,
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool though.
yeah, his birthday month is in June. I'm gonna hope
You said
wish him.
you made it seem like his birthday was tomorrow.
No,
That's what I thought.
Not tomorrow, but I'm giving him a shout out because it's something that like I want everyone to be aware of. You know what I mean? Like it's ways. But we get ahead of it so that we can make this man feel welcome early on. All right,
listen.
Bottom of these things quickly.
Listen, you made it seem like his birthday was tomorrow. In my head, I'm thinking
it is tomorrow. It is tomorrow. Now you see what it is tomorrow. Right?
It isn't tomorrow. You just said June.
It's tomorrow. I'm just messing. All right, it is June, but yeah, I just wanted to let y'all guys know, it is, in my opinion, comic books is something that I personally really enjoy, but I think the next thing I want to bring it up to you guys when it comes to the comic books actually is, this is a great thing for the LGBT community, specifically trans community members, in DC's Arrowverse, which hate it or love it, I'm gonna be honest. Flash was beautiful for the first few seasons, pretty good. First 2 seasons, excellent. I mean, first season, excellent. Second season, okay, we can let it go that the creators kind of did like a repeat of the same villain from season 1. Season 3, I'm not even gonna talk about. And then it's getting worse from there. A couple cool moments, but in the DC Arrowverse, coming from Supergirl, Dreamer debuted in comics for the first time. As from what I know, this is the first trans character that is completely that has a complete debut from TV into comics, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong here, and that's okay if I'm wrong. I'll definitely take it back, and I'll definitely pull it out.
You got real loud there, but shout out to the community getting their own hero.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful.
Shout out to them.
I think when it comes to comic books, and I'm gonna be honest, definitely comic books, definitely characters of fiction. It's a great thing to have original members from what you can literally build out of, and personally not have their orientation or just because they're a certain way, make it the overarching factor too much, or at least explode that out to somebody and throw it out to somebody for them to just accept it. I think this is beautiful because Dreamer actually is pretty cool. For Gary and Trayvon who don't know, Dreamer's ability is to be able to create, if I remember correctly, energy beams constructed from dreams. If I'm correct, I might be completely wrong.
So she's basically like what was it, the girl from the lady from Black Clover, where she can like take you to like a dream world or something along that line. She could be that. That's not a bad power. That wasn't a bad power.
So okay, I'm going to say illusion casting, but that might be a little bit of a problem here. I'm
drawing like a dream world, and she can like right around like.
Getting a little loud there.
Huh? Oh, I'm getting a little loud.
Yeah,
it was Trey that though.
Oh, it was me that time. Yo, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Zoom just did that. Don't know why it just did that. Because it was unique.
Dreamer's powers are astral projection, electrokinesis, energy construct creation, energy projection, only romancy. I like the name of that. That actually sounds wavy. And precognition. The precognition, as far as I understand, is not the. It is OP, but it's not the most OP version, overpowered version of precognition. But only chromacy is dream deviation, or is a term used to describe the ability of some characters to see the future through their dreams. So it's similar to precognition. I guess that's what her precognition is her ability to have a dream or to fall asleep, get into REM sleep, and be able to pick up on certain things that are going to possibly come from the future. Because if we know DC or Marvel's universes, whatever that matters, their freaking timelines are ridiculous. DC a little bit more confusing than Marvel, in my opinion. But yeah, celebration to them, to the community. Great for y'all. That's the power. But this is something that I really wanted to talk to you guys, and a lot of people are Thor fans. Crims Hemsworth. He's a little fit. I'm gonna be honest. He's got a little.
Did you know his son is in the movie?
His what?
His actual son.
Biological.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that the boy
yeah.
that's running?
Yes.
That's fire. Okay. Congratulations, young Hemsworth. Young Hemsworth.
His son is actually in the movie. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Congratulations. We have a. I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna wait until we have a little bit of fans and we got some support. No. Okay, then congratulations. That's what I can say. Congratulations on him.
Isn't there a character that they didn't show in the trailer? It's supposed to be there.
I actually don't know.
Supposedly, I think.
Oh, tell us about it. Yes.
I think there's supposed to be somebody playing. I think it's the villain of the movie. They haven't showed him yet. It's somebody. It's somebody in the movie. I know that. It's some actor. I don't know who it is. I was literally looking at it on a TikTok. I forgot who it was, but I know there's somebody that's supposed to be in that movie that they didn't show in the trailer. They still haven't did that.
Okay. I don't know about the trailer too much. I was gonna leave that to kind of when we get closer to
the date
of the movie. We can sit and dissect that movie to really get some pieces in. Obviously, some of the bigger content creators when it comes to comic books. You definitely have a lot of people that are going to be going head first into that, and they're going to be attacking that. So,
that definitely does look like it's going to be a good movie, though. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I like it. I like the direction they're going for the Thor movies, because this would be the end of the trilogy. No, basically the fourth movie for Thor.
This is going to be the fourth movie.
Yeah.
What was the third movie?
Ragnarok.
Right. Sorry, completely forgot about that. I thought that was the second movie. I'm gonna be honest.
No, because
the worst one.
Yes, Dark World.
Yes, with the black goo.
Yeah.
Yes, that's an Infinity Stone. Interesting. Forgot about that. I want to forget about it again. I don't want to think about that. So, Thor is the next Odin.
Yeah.
In a comic book, with the God of Hammer, after the climactic battle, during the climactic battle between the God of Hammer, Magog, or the Spirit of Magog, and Thor, and some of the heroes, as they were getting washed by Magog, because if Magog can wash Odin and Thor, I'm gonna be honest, Captain America with his shield is doing jack all. So we need to get him out of the character books. Gladiator, sure, but I mean, come on, Odin's stronger than Gladiator, so I'm gonna be like, that's mad whack. So I don't have a feeling about that. So yeah, how do you think that comic is gonna go now? How do you think comics is gonna go now that you have Thor that and there's only once in his in the history of his not maybe not once, but once in like actual continuity that Thor actually had the power of his father in totality. He had the power before, a little bit of it, but now he has totality. It was only one time he was before, and he was known as Rune King Thor, and he was powerful. He stopped Ragnarok because Ragnarok in comics is a reoccurring event. God,
with the sister and everything.
not with the sister. Okay, so Hela in the comic books is different. Hela's Loki's daughter. It's more in line with the actual mythology. But Loki is the father of Hela. Hela is in the comic books OD powerful. We're talking about almost Odin fearing power level. It's that powerful. So it's gonna be honest. She almost took over Valhalla, which should say something because that's only the strongest, most daring warriors are there, and she almost took all them people for herself. So that's powerful. But no. The event that I'm talking about is Ragnarok in the comic books is a reoccurring thing. It happens every so often. Gods die. And the same thing happens over and over. Loki does something. The only person that figured it out was Odin, and Odin sent Thor to Earth so that Thor can become more human, and humans or mortals have the ability to change their destinies, while Asgardian gods or deities, quote unquote deities, are in stone. They're like they don't change their ways.
So whatever happens. Like
whatever happens. So basically, and not even whatever happens. It's like destiny. Like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The thing is that Thor in this case was stronger than Odin because Odin had to sacrifice an eye, his brothers, and so on and so forth. He had to do a whole ritual. What Thor did is Thor said, your father did this, but you need to give us more. And if you give us more, we'll give you his power and more. So he lost both of his eyes, but was able to see the world in a new way.
Okay.
It's cool. So Thor was so incredibly powerful that he's seen the higher gods, the gods above Asgard gods. So they're gods basically. And said, yo, Thor was like, we're not playing by your game. We ain't playing by your rules. So you know what we're going to do? Wipe the scoreboard. F everything. If we're going to start it, we're going to start over completely. You guys have no control of us. And that's why Thor has like new history now. Suppose, quote unquote, new history. His people aren't going to die from Ragnarok. Not in the same way it is. Now Ragnarok is a couple of other things, I guess you could say. Ragnarok pretty much already happened. But yeah, this is incredible news because a long-time character, his father Odin, is dead. Is officially dead. And Thor is now Odin. So when Thor gets tired of using his powers, instead of him being a big boy and able to take the hits, he falls asleep. He has almost near Galactus power level. Yet if he uses too much, he gets knocked out and goes to sleep, and then he can die, which is terrible. I would never want Odin's power. Like,
I don't want that. That just means like, yo, bro, you go full power, you're gonna almost die, and you're gonna be asleep to die.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
But what do you guys, besides a really long backstory, what do you guys think about where the predictions is going? What do you think Thor's stories are going to be like? Are they going to be like Thor's just way too powerful, so we're not even going to worry about Thor, we're not going to pay attention about Thor? Or do you guys think that Thor comic books are going to be a new hit? Or a hit might be a long shot, but
a hit is definitely a long shot when you have an OB character like that.
Yeah.
So they might maybe die down a little bit. they may do something along that line. Because a character like that OP, if he can't really, not saying he can't die, but like you would have to bring somebody from there, like you got to bring somebody more powerful than him every time to fight him.
Right.
Like that's the thing though. Like it would have to be something along that line. He can't fight like the same guys he's been fighting before. Because he's just gonna obliterate them.
Okay.
Right. Okay. What do you think, Gary?
I kind of agree with that notion. It's like, that's what they usually do to people that's too powerful. They'll bench them for a while, make some new stories, or they may get another writer to actually roll with them, work with them, see what they can do with the Odin Force. So that does seem pretty interesting, but it may be like, he's either too powerful, we got to find somebody to rival him. And if that's the case, he might end up actually dying, and then he's really out of the picture for a while.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely don't think he'll be on the Avengers for a while because he's way too strong. It's going to be the Thor show with any fight they do, which is cool. But these are things people got to think about. It's like, all right, could he even necessarily fit the team now, or is he going to outshine everybody?
Mm-hmm.
And make it the Thor show, So we'll see how that goes. To be honest, I'm interested, but I do feel like they're gonna just make him too powerful and give him a bench. It's like a universal threat that they need him, or they may focus up on their stories with him and the other guards that can rival him. But it's either one or the other at that point. What's your take, though? Think it's gonna be a blast, a bop?
Can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Like you think it's gonna be a bop?
About?
A bop.
A bop.
A bop. I think it's gonna be a difficult issue. And difficult issue as in, I think personally, like, what are they doing? Like, I really don't want to see Thor with the ability to use Gaia's power to some degree, Odin's power to a full degree, if not more so, because it's combined with his power now, so it's definitely stronger than Odin. I'm pretty sure he can definitely put a dent, if not knock out Galactus, maybe not in one shot, but definitely with some effort. So I think if they do it correctly, Thor is no longer going to be an Avenger. He should not be an Avenger. He should leave the Avengers personally, and what he should do is he should have his own story in which an individual, his son, starts to come into being. Because Asgards live in a different time motion than we do. Like they don't live 100 years and remember each year. They remember maybe 300 years, and they might pick a spot where they can remember, but it'd be like, if he left one day and 6 years later he sees Captain America, he's like, yo, we just went out for a beer. Like, that's what he's thinking. It's not that it's been 6 years. He just thinks he's been 6 minutes. So, Divinity definitely, they did a pretty cool job with Divinity in Marvel. Or a form of divinity, maybe. But I think it has its chance at success, and I'm gonna say it will stay afloat if they do it the right way. But I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, but I'm gonna say it's not. It's not gonna succeed. I think it's gonna rise for a little bit in the next story, depending on how they do it, and it's gonna fall. And then they're going to do something with Thor and give Odin back his power or something like that, or make somebody strong enough. I don't know. But Odin's not done. They always bring back a character. No death is final. But let's get to animes real quick. So Watchdog got a new anime, and Watchdog, I believe, has a new anime or a manga, if I'm correct. Watchdog.
Watch Dogs? Like
Watch the Dog. Yes.
And then the game?
Like the game?
Watchdog.
It's an anime.
Game Watchdog. So how crazy it is. The game
Watchdog is gonna have an anime.
Yeah.
I mean, I just seen the Shenmue anime, so I want to be surprised. I feel like that was already
Hello.
something that could have happened.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That's all I can really say.
Okay.
Jimmy.
So I'm gonna leave it at that. That wasn't even. I just brought it up because I wanted to see our reactions. Watch Dog is the game
I
was
mean,
something else. That's all I can say.
right. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out. Like I checked out the Shenmue anime.
What
yeah,
did you check out?
Did you ever play the game Shenmue?
No, I didn't. What's that about? Let's look at that real quick. You forget Watch Dogs. What you got on your sleeve, Gary?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a really old game that came out on Dreamcast, pretty much like some old school revenge story type game. This guy tried to avenge his father/master who got killed in front of his eyes as a child. Well, not as a child, but he was like 15, 16. So he spent a majority of the game learning martial arts and trying to figure out how to, get between the guy. It was actually a trilogy of the game. The first two games were on Dreamcast, and the third game actually came out recently due to Kickstarter. It actually was not that good. Definitely wasn't worth the time we waited. But what can we do? But yeah, anyways, I made an anime. I was watching a couple of the episodes. I was gonna continue to watch it, just haven't had the time. But it seems pretty interesting. Like the animation isn't like anything crazy or anything you haven't seen before.
Fill me in on what is it you're talking about? I just got my train of thought just lost. Somebody called me.
Dogs. They hacked your consciousness. That's what it. They was like, yo, just nod to the fact that Watch Dogs is an anime. That's what they.
I'm not watching that. I'm good.
I'm not watching either. But so something.
No, now that news goes too.
Okay.
We still talking about manga and anime. I've seen that Shaman King is getting the adaptation. Well, not an adaptation. A sequel adaptation. So they're all adults now, and it's like that's interesting. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they're doing it. Like, I really dislike how they made Chocolate look like. But okay. It'll be interesting to see.
I'm gonna say something. All you people who are making like shows kind of weird, such as like Spy Family, stop doing it.
What?
Stop.
Did you just say Spy Family is weird?
No. People are making it weird. People are saying that they're like the father and the daughter, trying to insinuate that
some weird stuff.
The
internet is undefeated, but the internet can be something else. It definitely can be something else.
Let me tell you that show is really, really good.
That the show is good. The manga is even better. When I tell you the manga will have anyone that reads that is gonna be laughing, and also some adorable parts. But it's fun. It can be really funny if you just allow yourself to have like an open mind on comedy. It's pretty good. So the next thing is Black Clover, the manga. The adaptation is going to be reported to take a 3-month break to prepare for the final arc.
Yeah, I was updated on that one. And that's actually what I was saying. When the first initial news came out about the indefinite hiatus, it was like Jujutsu Kaisen just did something similar. It was like, when it first came out, people thought that it was indefinite, but it's really the author taking a break. And yeah, I think that's very good. I've read it. Like, I've read up to the chapter that they're leaving us on the break for. And I can definitely see why he would take a break. Definitely rest his mental, get back. And it's gonna be really crazy, to be honest.
Because you don't want to mess something up like that.
Fact. He's definitely gonna bring it home strong. But getting into the Black Clover, though, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to say anything just in case, anime onlys are about watching us. But the twist, wow, bro.
That is easily, I'm not going to hold you, a great anime, like up and coming right now, great anime. There's not a bad episode in the show. If you haven't watched it, really not a bad. Nothing. It's not really that slow. It's really good. Picks up. It keeps you going. Every episode gets better and better. There's really nothing I can say bad about the anime. Like every anime I've watched so far, it's nothing in that boat. Nothing. Really nothing bad I can say about the show.
Okay.
Character development good. Everything's good.
All right. Okay. That's a big statement.
It's really it's not a big statement. It's a true statement. The character development was really good.
That's a big statement. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. So from what we understood, Demon Slayer is gonna be taking another break. As far as I can see, predict.
Didn't they just come out with a trailer for the next season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know when they're gonna be when that's coming out.
It'll probably be a winter next year or winter this year. You know, like what they do on My Hero, just take a break for a year.
Mm.
And then
Yeah,
do
they
the
gotta
end.
stop doing that. I'm gonna be honest, Gary. They I mean, Crownless. They gotta stop. They gotta stop taking a whole year to do these things. A little bit pull back on the anime, maybe not the animation. Take that back. Pull back on the drawing and the colors a little bit. You can cut some corners just a little bit. I guess that's the formula they gotta come up with what they can cut. But
I highly doubt.
Manga is a very good manga. I'm talking about the fights are going to get crazy.
What are you talking? You're talking about Demon Slayer?
Yes, Demon Slayer. Like,
I know.
I'm excited for Black Clover too. I'm definitely gonna watch it. But Demon Slayer this season, Trey Guns.
I've never watched it.
You have to check the season.
I've never watched a lick of Demon Slayer.
You should watch Demon Slayer. It's very good. Coloring is good. Animation's pretty good. Storytelling. It's
yeah.
not weird. It's not weird. It's definitely interesting, but you can feel like you watched it before to a certain degree. Certain things you can pick up. You know, obviously there's familiarities among many different, you know,
different animes, yeah.
Animes, TVs, and so forth. When it comes to just making entertainment for people. But Demon Slayer, in my opinion, has a very good twist on, maybe not twist, but a good look on brother takes care of sister type of atmosphere, you know. And it's not like the sister cannot take care of herself. She's incredibly strong. Like, we're talking about washed, powerful demons. That's what I'm talking about. She's that powerful, but, you know, she's scared of the sun, you know, be careful. I'm not going to get too far into it. I'm not going to explain anything. But what I am going to say is I suggest that you watch it. It's if it's not on par with Black Clover, in my opinion, it's better. And Black Clover is good. I'm not giving it any lick. It's good. Demon Slayer is something that's comparable.
I can't give you that. That's a strong statement.
It is a strong statement, but it's supported with what you'll see. In the first season, the combat is really good. In the second season, in this season that just passed by, that season's amazing. That season's color, action, development, to some degree. I'm gonna take it back on the development part.
I can't.
It's good. It's on its flow.
I put Black Clover up there with best young anime, best newer animes. I put it up there. It's like it's definitely, for me, it's definitely one. My Hero was there for My Hero was there for me at a point, but then I stopped watching it, and then I heard a lot of like extraness that's going on, and it's not looking too great. It's not going too great.
You said one. I'm confused. Do you mean that?
Yes.
Do you mean that Jujutsu Kaisen is one?
Mm.
Let's be very clear. Jujutsu Kaisen's on a level where its action already ranks it better than most animes that are out right now. I'm not giving any slack to anything else, but
I like the Clover. I like the Clover.
when it started throwing out episodes.
I'm talking about the manga. Black Clover kind of failed me with the ending of this arc. I'm going to keep it 100 stack.
Okay.
Pretty much the best way to put it is that it's definitely starting to show a Dragon Ball effect. You know what I mean? It's definitely happened before, but now it's very apparent. It's always, if this guy isn't the strongest one, there's always somebody stronger than him right next door. You know, and they just kind of did it too much with the rest of this arc. And, you know, it was kind of cool because, like, they had it correct. You know, they had the three Spade siblings, you know, they were going off. All right, each one of them got demonic powers. Cool. Now we're getting more demons. Now more demons. Now another subsect of demons, and it was like, yo, when does the power scale and stop? Two. And then on the hero side, everybody was just, all right, let me get a power up. All right, I need another power up and fight. So like, oh shit, Dragon Ball. I hear it.
But where's the L? Like, you know what it is? Where is the L taking at? Like that's the thing that makes it break the anime.
But they did make up for it, and that's why I really want to say it. You know, I feel like you should read the trade because the last chapter that they ended us on before the break, there wasn't even no action.
Dang.
But there's a twist that's literally about to shock your whole understanding of the show.
Okay.
Like it had me on.
Is it twist? I'm gonna take a leap at it because I never finished the manga. I watched certain parts of it. I read certain parts of it, and I watched.
It's a watch.
Is Asta not Atsu Astra Asta is he going to or are we gonna see him turn into the full demon, and the full demon is like what, Lucifer himself, like the greatest god demon in the world? Like,
you're way back. We already know who his field is.
Yeah. You're way back.
Well, I know his demon. I know his demon. His demon is, you know, I'm not gonna spoil it for some people, but his demon is someone that is technically a friend of the family. It's a pretty cool person when it comes to the family.
I got up to that part of that next chapter of that.
You know, I kind of do gotta say it just to spur the conversation.
Of course.
All right, so are y'all ready? I'm gonna give y'all 1 second to tell me if you're ready or not ready.
No.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Don't listen to this man. Don't listen to this man. Forget him. I'm ready.
No, because I understand. It really is that shocking. Like when I heard it,
Gary, I need you not to understand. Forget him. He's not here. Mute him.
I'm here.
I'm
here. I'm here, and I love the show.
Oh, okay, all right. So,
it was very unexpected, is the most I will say.
Okay, all right, very.
You gotta catch up.
I'm gonna definitely sit down tonight and actually read some because it was. Because I got up to the next chapter of everything up to when they finally like leave that room that they was in. So it's like it's really, really good. I feel like it's up there. There's a lot of shows that are getting there, getting better and better.
Of course.
We got I never got the chance to watch it. We got Kingdom. Got that anime. I really got to watch it.
I would definitely 10 out of 10 recommend, you know, but it's definitely one of those. It's like XCOM or Civilization with anime. You know, you got to sit there, stay methodical. You know, I mean, obviously there's a lot of action, but there's a lot of real world tactics. There's a lot of tactics going on, pretty much, and a lot of large scale battles, and you got to keep up with a lot of characters and factions. But it's really, really, really good. You know, but I'll talk about it long, and then nobody's really worried about spoilers. Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, they pretty much are starting to get a little knee deep in this new arc, pretty much. and it's like another tournament style arc. But the way it's going is very good. Like we're seeing a lot of sorcerers from like back during Sakuna's age, as well as a lot of new modern day sorcerers with a lot of different techniques, and they're pretty much going on. And on top of that, my boy Yuta came back. God damn, is that man a menace? So that's the best way I can put it. That man is a menace. Like, I mean, I knew he was gonna be a menace because Gojo was like, "Yo, you, Yuji, and Hikari, y'all are prodigies. I know y'all gonna be crazy." But like, giving him that time skip between what happened in the movie flashback versus now, he busted so much ass. It's crazy. Like his fight was very good. He pretty much fought a 1v3. And like, man, y'all gotta see it. Y'all definitely gotta see it. They also showed Hikari off finally. Like we already got a fight from him, but now he's like actually fighting somebody, and like he's ape. Like he's probably gonna be one of my favorite characters by the time this fight's over. So I'm definitely excited to see that. I'm also trying to see an update on Maki. Like I know what happened to her, but like I want to see her fight now because like after what happened. So something in the anime, something, I'm gonna just say it.
Is it Baki?
Maki from Jujutsu
Kaisen.
Yeah, okay.
We can't talk about Maki.
Oh no. I'm gonna wait until the new season comes out for Baki before we talk about that. I definitely want to have a good talk on that for all three of us. But continue.
I gotta watch another season.
Okay. So yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. We've just hit the 2-hour mark, and generally for everyone that has joined us today, we generally have or will be having this podcast about a duration of 2 hours. So you'll have 2 hours to relax, chill down, and listen to a breakdown of what's happening in the world. We're definitely going to be able to bring you a lot of news and a good on-the-ground experience when it comes to the three of us and our perspectives on life. You've probably heard some of it, but you didn't hear it from us. What do you guys think?
It's a pretty great episode 1.
It's
really great. We're gonna pick this back up. When exactly are we picking this back up?
We're gonna pick it back up on Friday. Yes,
we're gonna pick it up
at 9:30.
That's a reach. That's a reach for me, buddy.
That's a reach for you. Okay, then.
Could that work?
I'm gonna be honest. All right, then.
Maybe like 8. Like 8.
8 o'clock. We'll work out the details. And we'll post out exactly what time our hard schedule is going to be like. We're going to be consistent. It's going to be on those days, no matter
Monday,
what.
Wednesday, and Friday.
Yes, sir. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be on every time on those days. Or we're gonna do our absolute best to bring you some good information on just different and variety of topics. Gary, how you feel? How you feel about this? How you feel about the first podcast?
Oh no, I definitely agree. This was a good first episode. Everybody definitely did their thing, had a good conversation. That's about it, really.
All right, fantastic. Okay, that sounds good. Consistency is the key, and we're definitely gonna be consistent at it. And as we go along, we're definitely looking to just have a beautiful team, add more people, and just work at this. So yeah, Trayvon or Gary, if you want to end it off.
Nah, you end it off. You end it off.
Or I just got some closing thoughts. Just great talk.
Stay beautiful. Stay positive.
Stay beautiful. Stay positive.
That's a good one.
This is the first CTU podcast. This is episode 1. Thank you everyone for joining. It's a great and wonderful thing. Yo, clap it up. Yeah. Thank you for joining us on our first episode 1. Please subscribe on YouTube to each one of us.
Follow us on Twitch.
Follow us on Twitch. You have Trey Guns. You have Crownless Kings. And I am Unique Story. You know, I have a great story to tell, and I want to tell it. And this is CTU. Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Right?
you guys.